Okay, this is video solution number 3. Now, I actually went into the depth of explaining this a wee bit more in the hint video, but very quickly, I'm going to just recap a few details that I looked at there. If that's P, Q, and R, if I have a line down here that is the median of the triangle, that means it's cutting QR in half. It's also the altitudes meeting it at right angles. That makes this a line of symmetry. And so actually, there's an extra fact we know about this triangle, which is that it is an isosceles triangle. So actually, as soon as you get a median and altitude being the same thing, you're certainly working in isosceles. Potentially, it could be an equilateral, but for the purposes of this question, it doesn't matter. So we're going to use its isoscelesness just now, but we could actually also have an equilateral. It doesn't matter to us in this question which one we've got. So a quick diagram gives us a lot of information. We've been asked to find the area of this triangle. Well, area of a triangle equals half base times height. So I'm just writing down what I know about the question and seeing where we can go from there. Well, okay, base times height. Well, our base in this case is going to be QR. So the next thing we want to find is the length QR. Well, the length of QR is minus 1 take away 1 all squared plus minus 1 take away 3 all squared. That turns into 2 squared plus 4 squared, otherwise known as the square root of 20. So I'm doing quite a bit of work there mentally. If you've added an extra step, done some calculator work, that's fine. Root 20 is our key thing. You could rewrite that if you want as 2 root 5 as well. Okay, now the height, we want to know this height, which is here. Well, we don't know anything about this point. So the next thing we're going to do is find the midpoint of QR. Now I've just labeled that M on the diagram. It'll be convenient to have a letter for it in a second. Remember, the midpoint is the mean of the x-coordinate plus the mean of the y's. So we've got minus 1 plus 1 over 2. And we have minus 1 plus 3 over 2. And so working out those values, that one, minus 1 plus 1 is 0. Divided by 2 is still 0. Minus 1 plus 3 is 2. Divided by 2 is that 2. So that gives us 1. So our midpoint is 0, 1. Next thing we want to do is find the length MP. The length of MP, where M is this midpoint that we just found. Length of MP is 0 take away 2 all squared plus 1 take away 0 all squared. 2 squared is, or minus 2 squared is 4. 1 squared is 1, so that is the same as root 5. So finally, the area is equal to a half times 2 root 5, or root 20, if you use root 20, this all still works, times another root 5 from here. Root 5 times root 5 is 5, times 2 is 10, half it is 5 units squared. Okay, we don't know what the units are in this case, but units squared will do nicely. So our area is 5 units squared. Having worked through that, if you had used root 20, you get root 20 times root 5. That would leave you with root 100, which is 10, and then halving it, so you get exactly the same. If you use decimals, you may not have got bang on 5 units. The calculator might have rounded it a little bit somewhere, and you might lose that accuracy. So that's why keeping surges is often actually gives you nicer, better answers. So that is the answer to question 3. I will also do the answer to the trickier question I'll pop the answers up for those, or there won't be a video solution unless there's a lot of demand for one. But I will put the answers up to those questions for you to have a look through.